So in the truck industry, you hear about like the big black dog. When you see the big black dog, pull over and get some rest. I've hallucinated like a tractor trailer sideways on the highway, and I like slammed on my brakes to not hit it. But I know it's from sleep deprivation because every time it's happened, I've been just completely exhausted.
Today we have the honor of hosting Sam Kornichuk, who works in trucking. It's always great to interview one of my brothers, man. I get to see your journey firsthand. I can see educating the people about what you do, man. So I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for spending it with us.
I'm excited to be here, brother.
Awesome, man. So what made you get into driving trucks, and how long have you been doing it?
I've been driving trucks for around like 6 years now. I was kind of back in the day. I kind of like hit some hard times, so I got into it through a program that my city was running, and they sent me to school completely at no cost, and then like helped me build my resume. I was still kind of like young and dumb then. I had some growing up to do, so that's kind of just how I got my foot in the door.
Nice, man. Nice. Was it something that you thought about before, or was it just something that completely you just took a chance on?
Yeah, I'd say I took a chance on it. It was kind of like a spur of the moment kind of thing.
Okay. So let me ask you, when you first started truck driving, I imagine like you start with the trainer and they build you up maybe a certain amount of hours. How does that work before you get to drive your first solo truck?
Well, my first job was a little different, because I was delivering, like, construction materials, so I didn't really get much training there, um, and for the whole, like, first 6 months, I was, hired as a driver there, but I wasn't even driving at all. I was just working in the warehouse, but I eventually left that job, and the job I currently have now that I've been at for around 4 years, that was kinda different too. I kinda got thrown to the wolves. I went training for 1 day, and, um, and then I got sent out by myself on these crazy, like, 14-hour runs, all the way in upstate New York. So, yeah.
Is that typically that what happens, or is it just kind of a unique situation?
I think at that point, like, the company that I'm at, like, wasn't really built up enough. We were like really short staffed as well. So it's different now. Like if we have new drivers who come in, they usually get around like a month of training before they get sent out by themselves.
Okay, yeah. So builds them a little bit more. Would you say that that helps like new drivers more, or do you think maybe getting thrown to the wind helped you a little bit more? Oddly enough.
Say I'd say more training probably is a lot better. I mean, I was able to hack it, but I mean, there's even guys, to be honest, who get like all that training, who train for like a month or two, and they still can't hack it.
Mm,
So I guess
why
it
is
really
that?
just depends on the person. My job is very, very physical. It's not just driving, moving anywhere from 20 to 40,000 pounds a night by hand. So I'd say it's about half of it's driving. The rest of it is just moving constantly. I'm just trying to get the work done.
Wow. Okay. What was your first solo trip like? I mean, I know you have a little bit of different circumstance, but were you nervous the first time you went out, or was it did it
Yeah,
go
I
smooth?
definitely was. I say for the most part, it took a lot of time because I didn't know like I didn't know like the product yet. So pretty much I would pull up to a store, break down pallets, and certain products go in certain places like the cooler, the freezer, or dry. And it was a lot of picking up a box and staring at it and trying to figure out where the heck it went. But I'd say more than that, the worst part about it was is because I work overnight and I wasn't really used to the night shift. And then when I got kind of thrown to the wolves, it's like, okay, you're going to get sent out on like a 12 to 14-hour run overnight. I think fighting sleep was the worst part. I remember that because when I was driving in the winter time, I would have to roll the window down, and I was up in upstate New York, so it gets to like 0 degrees, like -10 degrees. I have to roll the window down and stick my arm out the window just to stay awake. And I remember like my arm would be going numb from it. Like you got to do
Just
what you got to do, you know.
right. Let me ask you, as far as your experience, I mean, do you prefer longer trips, or do you have like a lot of long trips long routes under your belt, or do you prefer maybe shorter routes?
So I definitely prefer shorter routes. When I first got hired here, I was, like I said, I was getting sent up to upstate New York on the longer routes, but I pretty much fought for the route that I've had now for the past 3 years, which I only go to like Connecticut now, so it's pretty local. I can usually get my my shift done in like 7 to 8 hours. So I much prefer that.
Nice.
I do work more days though. So like when I was on doing the 12 to 14 hour runs, only working 3 days a week every other day. Now I work 5 nights a week, but it's shorter, but I honestly prefer that.
So it's almost like a give or take, right? Like
Yeah.
working
Yes.
shorter days, or right. Um, how different, now that you have skin in the game and you're experienced, how different is it now as far as like your lifestyle than what you expected when you first came in? Is there any like differences, like, hey, I expect this to be this way and it's completely different?
Yeah. I think, like, you mean like with the company and how they run things or,
Or just trucking in general, when you first put in that, hey, like I want to be, get into trucking, and you have all these thoughts of what it possibly could be. And now that you're actually doing it for 6 years, is there anything that was different than your expectations at the beginning, or do you feel like it's pretty much on par with what you expected?
I would say honestly, I didn't expect to make this much money from trucking. But I think if anybody is looking to get into it, uh, I would recommend going with a local company. If I don't think that people should be doing like the long haul trucking and over the road stuff. That's where people just get taken advantage of. A lot of times, local companies where you're home every night, they pay a lot better than these guys that are going cross country delivering.
Nice. Okay. So you recommend doing the local portion just for the safety of the driver, or
Yes.
like the protection of the driver
Yes,
himself?
definitely. I even think for, quality of life and, like, ease of mind, I say maybe if you're if you're a single guy, don't really have an obligation to family or anything, like, you might benefit from doing the long haul trucking, like, you get to see the whole country and everything. I mean, I have a wife, like, I can't do that type of stuff. I can't be gone for a couple of weeks, home for 1 week.
Of
And
course.
a lot of those companies do take advantage of the drivers. That's why I'm saying, like, if you stick locally, you're probably better off.
Right. What type of ways do they take advantage of them, would you say?
Running them to the bone, and they don't get paid as much, definitely. You say you have a better chance. It is pick and choose too, not every local company is gonna be paying like a lot, but you do have to pick and choose. But I know a lot of these over the road guys who don't make anywhere near what these local guys are making, and they're gone way more. They're gone for weeks at a time.
Wow. Wow. I had a different impression. I thought the longer guys would make more than the shorter guys, but that makes
Yeah,
sense.
that's what I thought too when I first got into this industry.
So let me ask you, what's been your favorite part of the career field so far? You kind of naturally already started alluding to some of that stuff. What's been your favorite part of the career field, and what's been your least favorite?
Um, they kind of go hand in hand. I'd say my favorite part is the money. Like I wouldn't be able to buy this house uh if I wasn't working here. And going hand in hand, my least favorite part is the hours. Like, for example, this week, I'm pulling double shifts every single day this week. And the past 2 days, I've already worked like 26 hours. After tonight, I'll have worked 40 hours in 3 days. So that part, yeah, it sucks, but uh, you can't really make, I can't really make this money like anywhere else.
Yeah. So let me ask you, just to go a little bit further with that, then, I imagine, being on the road so long, it's lonely. You are working out long hours. It's physically demanding. How do you deal with that?
To be honest, I just listen to a lot of like true crime podcasts and like court TV. Um, but I don't know. I think I've never I've always preferred like working by myself, so I I don't really necessarily think that's a bad thing or really actually thought like hard about how to deal with it. You know, I think I prefer working by myself, so it kind of just comes naturally.
So you would say that quality maybe is something that if you like working by yourself, you'll definitely enjoy that aspect of it. And I'm sure you see, the beauty of the country. I mean, you get to see different places that people don't see on the road. And
Yeah, yep. Yeah, I would say that if you like working by yourself, then this is probably a good career for you to have.
sure. So going along on your favorite portion, everyone's favorite subject is money. How do you stand out? How do you make yourself different in a market in which there may be a lot of truckers, right? How do you stand out? How do you become maybe the best in your field so that you're making that quality money?
I think well, honestly, I think I got kind of lucky with the company that I got hired at. I would just say like you really have to pick and choose like when you're like applying for companies because a lot of these guys will take advantage of you. Like I said, I got lucky, and at least with my work and my company, like my work stands out for for itself. You know, if I wasn't the best worker, they wouldn't be giving me all this extra work so that I have the opportunity to make extra money.
Right.
So
How do you become how did you build that for yourself? Would you say, like, is it punctuality, making sure you know that you're accessible? What would you say is the quality that makes someone stand out?
um I would say work ethic, really. It goes a long way, you know, doing your job to the best of your ability, you know. Because the customers we deal with, they're very, very strict a lot of the times. So if you mess up at all, like your company, the company's going to find out about it. So it's pretty much just not being lazy, doing what you're supposed to do and doing it efficiently. Because at the same time, um, we're not paid hourly. We're salaried. So the more efficient and the faster you get it done, you know, like time is money, right? So depending how you work could be the difference between making like 25 bucks an hour or like 60 bucks an hour or more depending.
With that, do you feel as though there's a certain type of person who wouldn't be cut out for trucking, certain personality trait that you've seen people fail, or do you think it's just subjective to the person, like, anybody can do trucking?
I think anybody can do trucking. It's really not that hard. It's pretty straightforward. Personality traits, I mean, as long as you're not really too lazy. But I don't know. I also know a lot of lazy guys in the trucking industry, so
Okay, so back to the subject of money, someone starting off, get ready to, get into the career field, how much can they expect just and I know this is subjective, but how much can they expect to potentially make starting off?
yeah, it is subjective. It really depends where you go. I know that at least at my company, um, you can start out getting like almost $100,000 just as a base salary. And I know there's a lot of other local companies that pay very well, especially if you're a CDL driver in construction. Those guys make really good money too. But like the over the road guys, I know they're making like 80,000 or less and they're gone for weeks at a time. That's why I was saying like it's really not that good. They kind of those guys kind of get taken advantage of. But like it really depends. It varies company to company. You just gotta be on the lookout, know your worth, and don't settle for less.
You mentioned a certification. Are there certain certifications you can get to potentially set yourself up better?
Yes. Yes. So, when you get your CDL, there's different endorsements you can get. So, like, there's hazmat, which means you can, once you get that, you can transport hazmat. There's tankers. You ever seen like the big fuel trucks? Need that a tanker endorsement for that. So there's different endorsements for different things, and the more you have and the more experience you get with that, you can make better, well, more money. Like especially like, the Texas oil field guys, those guys that are hauling oil back and forth. Those you need a tanker endorsement for that. And there's another endorsement I can't think of it off the top of my head right now, but um yeah, the more endorsements you get and the more experience you get, the more money and different opportunities in the trucking industry you're gonna have.
Are they hard to acquire, or is it something?
No, it's as simple as going to the DMV or RMV and taking like a test, kind of like how you would for your permit. Except for hazmat, you have to go to a class for that now. But it used to be like you just go to the RMV and do like a written test, um and then you would get that endorsement printed on your license, which would allow you to haul whatever it is for that endorsement.
Nice. So I gotta ask you, man, what's the craziest or most memorable specific story that you've had while working in trucking so far?
The most memorable. I've seen a lot of people die. Just crazy drivers. Honestly, it's like almost every night you see how crazy people are driving. I remember I was with one of my buddies. We were doing a double shift, so I took him as a helper, and there was this blue Honda Accord that was just cutting up through traffic in Hartford, Connecticut. And me and my buddy looked at each other and he said, "That guy's gonna end up dead." Sure enough, we 5 miles up the road, and he was flying through. It was a speed limit was a 55. This guy had to have been going like a buck 20, just weaving in and out of traffic, and let alone like 5 miles up the road, the car is crashed into a tree upside down and on fire. And then we learned later because they put it in the news that that guy died, and it was that same car that he came this close to our bumper, cut us off, and we did that to everybody, but. Yeah, I say you see a lot of really bad drivers. It kind of opens up your eyes to it.
Wow. Wow. I didn't think, I mean, of course, you seeing that, but that's crazy that you see specific stories like that. I mean, you encountered this guy was like that close to you. Uh,
Yeah.
so I got to ask you, truckers seem to, in my opinion, have the best ghost stories, man. Is there any truth to that as far as, being on the road for long hours? Do you think that your mind plays tricks on you, or have you had any experiences like that?
I have, but I uh I know what it is. It's from sleep deprivation and it's hallucination. So in the truck industry, you hear about like the big black dog. When you see the big black dog, pull over and get some rest. I personally haven't seen the big black dog, but I have hallucinated from pulling like 16-hour shift on like little sleep the night before. I've hallucinated like a tractor trailer sideways on the highway, and I like slammed on my brakes to not hit it, and then I blinked and it was gone, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm really tired." I've also I've pretty much like hallucinate like trucks that aren't there, like ghost trucks, but I know it's from sleep deprivation because every time it's happened, I've been just completely exhausted.
So most of those stories just come from, hey, lack of sleep or trying to finish
I
that
think
haul.
so. Yeah, I think so because it doesn't know it's like it used to happen more when I first started this night shift job. Not really so much anymore because I have better hours now and not going as far. But yeah, I definitely think it's from sleep deprivation.
Do you think as a trucker, there's sufficient places for you guys to get rest, or like, do some truckers just pull over in sketchy places to sleep, or how does
I'd
that
say
work?
um I say that's more for like the over the road guys, like the long haul guys. Because you can only drive for about 10 hours a day. Um before you have to pull over and you have to take your break. Um, so I say sometimes local, I don't really have to deal with that, but there have been times where I've been so tired I do have to just like pull over and just take a nap, and that's kind of easy for me because I'll just pull up into the store that I'm delivering to and then take a nap. But I think there should be more spots for these over the road guys because you'll see them. I don't know if you've ever seen them, but there'll be like a rest area on the highway, and it's completely full of trucks, and then the back like half mile behind it is just lined up with trucks, and um, it kind of sucks because once you hit uh that 10 hour of your driving time, like you have to pull over, you have to, and it's sometimes it can be very hard for people to find spots where they can park.
Wow. Wow. In your experience, as far as these long haul guys, what's the longest haul that you've heard someone do?
Um, I mean, you got guys going from Massachusetts to California. So I'm sure
Dang.
there's guys going up all the way up into Alaska, but I don't really know a lot of long haul people. The only long haul people that I see are guys that are suppliers that ship out product to our warehouse. So I don't really know a lot of these guys. I've been pretty much a local guy since I started this career.
Nice. Nice. So let me ask you, if someone is watching this and wants to do exactly what you're doing, what advice would you give that individual before starting off?
Um, I would say like know your worth, do some shopping around. Don't just go for any job. You know, a lot of these guys are going to take advantage of you, but yeah. And then I would say get as many endorsements as you can. That way you can have more opportunities for better work.
Nice. Nice. So before we wrap up, man, if anyone had further questions or wanted to reach out to you for more information, is there anywhere that they can find you or any social media handle, anything like that?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at underscore BBLS3. Yeah, that's pretty much the only social media that you can message me on.
Awesome, man. Hey, well, thank you so much. I appreciate your time, man. You brought a lot to, especially me, man. I'm listening to you, and I'm just amazed by some of the things you said so far. So I know that's going to be beneficial to a lot of people, man. So thank you so much.
Enjoyed the content? Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you have a career in mind you would like us to spotlight, send us a message on Instagram. We're always listening. Until next time, it's time to clock out.